All right, time for another back test. This is, once again for the month of June. This will be the last one. We'll be starting on July here in the next day or so. And we will be uploading all the data sets for June performance, or I'm sorry, for July performance for multiple.ai. So if you're a member, you'll see those start to populate. And we've got some really cool things in the works for our members. We've been working on a building a way to sort of create a data pipeline for users. So some of you we've given some software to. We have a piece of software that you can use for data extraction from Telegram. And what we're doing is we're basically creating a portal where you can extract data and it will send it to us. We test it and then it goes into the database for everybody to see. So what's handy about that is that it just expands the number of channels that we have available here in the database. And it's been interesting to see some of the reactions that we've had. We have some customers that sign up and they're furious at us over the results, and it's kind of just like, well, a lot of channels are bunk. There's about 70% of the channels that we test are just garbage. And we look at it as a way for you to know, hey, steer clear. But then we've got some that are pretty solid performers, and so yeah, it's just been interesting. Anyway, yeah, so that's coming here in the month of August. Hopefully we'll have that ready in the next week or so. We still have this tremendous backlog of data that needs to be tested, and hopefully the the automation processes that we're building is going to speed that up. So yeah, so while that's still in play, while we're still waiting for that to be finished, the pricing is 70% off, right? Once we get all the automation in place and we expand the library, the discount goes away. So anyway, let's take a look at today's channel. Vantage Forex Signals. This is their free channel. And again, if you've never watched this before, we like to test free channels because in our experience, they are a very good metric. They're a good sample set for how a channel performs. And I did do a video on that, comparing two data sets, one from a free channel and one from a paid channel from MetaBear, I think was the name of the channel. And I encourage everybody to check that video out. This one, their signal format kind of drives me a little bit nuts because they do this number where they'll kind of shove the entry prices together, and that's just going to create an error in a copier because the copier is not going to be able to tell. Like, it's going to think that it's one price with a decimal place, right? That's just silly. I don't know why signal services do this kind of stuff. And this particular one hasn't been doing this in the past. This is a fairly new thing. And I think that the results that because we've tested this before, and I think the long-term results have been decent-ish, but they are a part of, we don't know exactly if they're from Malaysia or if they're from Dubai or where they're from. But they're part of a group because they use a lot of the same terminology and a lot of the same memes that we see on other channels, right? So, and then of course this nonsense. This is just nonsense. But we're not trying to ascribe a value, to a channel. We just want to see how their signals perform. So anyway, having said that, let's take a look at the results. And if this is your first time watching, we do the same test every time. We do a $10,000 account, and we trade 0.1 size lots. And we've had people ask, do you take all the trades, even the target price 3s and target price 4s? And the answer is yes, we do. So if it comes through as a trade, it gets taken. We don't do any kind of trailing stop loss. We don't allow signal edits, nothing like that, because we just want to see how do the signals perform by themselves, right? So the idea is to not curve fit, but to create an outcome that's, it's not some mystery. It's easily attainable, or easily replicate. It can be easily replicated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, zero point 0.1 size lots. In this particular month, $23.09. So that's less than 1%. That's like a 0.23%. But hey, at least it made money and didn't lose, right? You can see this wonderful equity curve here. Entries by hours, pretty much all Europe this session. And we have noticed this phenomenon a lot across a number of channels this summer. No Asia. And I don't know the exact reasons why, but we typically will see just Europe and US. And of course, entries by months. You can see our statistical scattering of wins versus losses. So these are our losses here. The cluster below the 0 line, this is a loss. All right. And then these are wins. And what we like to see is that most of the losses cluster, down in this area, and that the wins are significantly larger than the losses, right? Average holding time, looks like about 9 hours is the average holding time. And a lot of currency pairs. And I think this is almost all currency pairs. I'm trying to remember for sure. So yeah, $23. Anyway, thanks for watching.